video to highlight a few pieces from each artist in our Vessels art exhibition. Although we always encourage people to experience works of art in person, we know that some of you may be stuck at home and cannot really get a sense of the scale, texture, weight, and beauty of these pieces. Blueprint Ceramics is a Los Angeles pottery studio run by Emily Haynes. Emily's ceramic practice spans 15 years and several cities, from New York to San Francisco, Oakland, and now Los Angeles. Each piece is designed, thrown, and glazed by hand, and fired in a cone 10 gas reduction kiln. Inspired by the colors and modernist vibes of LA, she combines classical forms with architectural lines. On a functional level, she loves to make work that is used every day in the homes of her friends, family, collectors, and fans all over the world. These are objects that people touch, drink from, eat from, and display, hopefully enhancing the aesthetics of their life and the experience of the most essential parts of their home. She's inspired by the mid-century modern patterns and colors that can be found around Southern California, and hope to achieve an overall experience of color and simplicity with a personal funked-up touch. And to all this, the magical chemistry and kismet of high fire reduction, in which the atmosphere of the kiln interacts with the clay body and glaze, to give her a final, unpredictable, and hopefully visually stunning result. Chen E Ceramics was created by Jennifer Kuroki, an artist based in Los Angeles. She has been making art for over 20 years in LA and Japan. Her time abroad sparked an ongoing conversation between old and new, tradition and relevance, elevated and mundane, practical and spiritual. Living and working in Southern California has also informed her work, which has become increasingly more animated, incorporating anthropomorphization and bright, saturated colors. With a background in graphic design and art direction, her eye tends to focus on patterns, and her canvases can take many forms. Beginning as an oil painter studying graphic design, moving into ceramics, and applying her designs into other mediums, she is interested in seeing how her work plays with the environment and interacts with the viewer. When talking about what inspired her to create these works, she explains that the bulk of her time is spent being a studio production potter, so she wanted to have fun, create different forms for these pieces. She allowed herself to work outside her comfort zone and push ideas that she's had floating in her head for a while. Jen usually finds herself pulling from tradition and trying to spin it with more modern patterns and designs. Overall, she'd like to tell people that her pieces are ceramic objects that smile. Kristina Kotlier is an architectural designer and ceramic artist with a strong design-build background and interest in emphasizing the elemental properties of the materials with which she works. She has built work in and around the Bay Area, including installations at the Exploratorium and the Oakland Museum. For this exhibit, she aspired to make things that feel good to have around. If someone has her pot in their home or at their desk, she hopes they look at it and smile a few extra times throughout their day. Her work is a product of all things around her, hand-built into pieces that embody the art, architecture, and design that she has studied. Kristina is very process-focused and challenges herself to rethink and rework each step to effect unique, innovative outcomes. The pieces she created for this show are explorations of figures and friends, highly designed and thoughtfully crafted. They are all meticulously finished and handmade, so each face, form, name, and personality is unique. She hopes that the owner of the pieces will enjoy making eye contact with it daily, as she strives to make something cute, fun, and functional. Raina Lee is an artist based in Los Angeles. A former gaming writer, she is inspired by science fiction, 16-bit video games, and the natural landscape. She has worked as a copywriter, a karaoke book author, a zine publisher, and most notably One Up magazine, a print zine about video game culture. Raina makes all her ceramics works by hand, either wheel thrown or hand built. She is interested in creating forms and shapes from other worlds, loosely based in memory and fantasy. Always glaze experimenting, Raina makes her own in-house glazes, such as ones with exploding volcanic craters and cracked crawling chunks. She loves bright 16-bit raver colors. That's because of her time gaming. She also likes working with unconventional firing techniques, such as horsehair, raku, and cigar firing. Anything that involves fire and an unpredictable outcome, as there are no guarantees in ceramics. The works Raina has included for the show are a good cross-section of what she's been experimenting with for the past year. Brighter candy colors, drippy textures, and understated shapes that let the glazes shine. With a background in fine arts from UCLA and animation from Puny and Disney TV, Chen Jr. explores the play between the conceptual and the cartoon, the silly and the serious. Her first experience working with clay was during college, and years later she found herself back with the medium at nights after work. These vessels were born out of a desire to rehabilitate and reconnect with the childlike wonder and joy of creating. They hope to provide a moment of contemplation, to reflect back a glimpse of the viewer, and to stir perhaps an inner dialogue. Along the way, it has provided her a format to experiment and grow with, as she continues to dig and find within herself. She believes we all have unique backgrounds, experiences, and questions. Imi feels these pieces come out as a result of a very simple desire to simply understand. When talking about the similarities between this and her other works, she explains that she is predominantly a 2D artist, and that it's been over 10 years since she first touched clay. Coming back to such a tactile medium after working in the digital industry has been like quenching a thirst and a wonderful homecoming. Her work in clay is fairly new, but she's always searching for ways to blend together previous experiences in graphic design, fine art, animation, and ceramics. An interesting fact about her pieces that is not visibly obvious is that each sculpture is Reiki charged, for specific focuses on acceptance, detachment, and convergence, made with, to, and for love. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative and interesting, give us a like or comment. If you'd like to learn more about the artist or purchase a piece, check out the links in the description area.